Morning, folks. Wow. Look at the fog again. Look. It's really worth it waking up early to go fishing in the fall. It's absolutely magical. And when you're all by yourself, no other annoying anglers, and you have nice tackle. This is the Vanquish and which Belezza I keep forgetting. This is the 6'8" Belezza UX. I have some new jigs I'm trying. Honestly, folks, even if I don't catch anything, just being here for a few hours, drifting down the bank, pitching to that tree, pitching to that tree, pitching to the grass patch. It's so amazing already. And I know I'm gonna catch some baby bluegill and a few 9-inch crappie. If I'm lucky, we'll get one of those good-looking 10-inchers. I do have here a 125-10 that was just tied on from another lake. But on this lake, I prefer to fish with a size 12 hook. The fish are really small. Let's see if I'm getting taps. And the fish are pulling only the tail. I might switch to the size 12 hook. But I'm gonna start with this, hoping for some bigger bluegill early in the morning. No. So I don't know if this is a good color for early in the morning. Looks like a good color for later when we have a lot more sunlight. Yeah, let's get the 1 gram number 10. 1 gram number 12. And this one comes on a 1.7 pound line. We're gonna fish with the new Belezza later, don't worry about it. Yeah, switching from the Belezza to the Eradicator making the first cast. I can tell that the Eradicator is a little bit more finessey rod. I don't know if any of these fish are golden shiners. This lake has golden shiners. But these golden shiners, if you want to catch them on lure, you need a very small jig. You need a smaller hook than the size 12, but it has to be different kind of hook. It's not just about the size, because the size 12 is already small enough. The gap needs to be smaller. You need small gap hook. The lure has to be small too. It has to be very small lure. But I think I found a hook for the GS1. Finding a good hook is very difficult because I don't have options from the entire world. I have 2 or 3 kind of groups of options. But I think I found a pretty good hook for the GS1. So I'm gonna start working on that with a lot of energy, because I believe the GS1 jig, if I can release it in the spring, will be also good for the new trout magnets with the thin body. So this hook might have more than one application. The fish are not on the bank, folks. Very weird. If you fish from the bank, cast far. Okay, try that. The fish, did you see where I caught it? I can see on live scope, they're not on the bank. They're shallow. We're in 4.8 feet of water. They're shallow, but not on the bank. This is very slow. Is it one of them 10-inchers? Welcome to the iFish YouTube channel, home of the best looking 10-inchers on YouTube. This one is putting up a fight like a but still didn't see what it was. Good crappie, folks. Really? That shallow? 4 feet of water? And we are kind of... so this crappie would be in a creek, in a big lake. In a big lake, this crappie would be in a creek. Trying to give you useful information. Because I'm pretty far from deep water. There is no deep water close to me. This is a... I don't want to say slab. This is a good crappie, folks. 1 gram number 12. Did you see how the jig comes out? Even on this crappie, it didn't penetrate the mouth. Not because the hook is not sharp. Trust me, my jigs are sharp. I want to measure this one. Know what I'm working with here. This one's gotta be 12, 12 and a half. It has got... Oh! Bro. I'll punch you right in the teeth, bro. Man, 12 and a half in a couple millimeters. A couple millimeters on the other side of 12 and a half. This is a good crappie, folks. This is one lucky crappie. There is nobody else who fishes this lake that will let this crappie go. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, one more. No, the ain't no. Okay, this ain't no slab, but it's a crappie. Man, they shallow. They shallow, just not on the bank. You gotta cast far. This is not rare, by the way. They might be on the bank at night. So this lake has a healthy population. Some good ones and some smaller ones pushing behind the 12 inchers. There's one more. Feels very similar. Maybe a little bit more jerky. Maybe the first bluegill. Man, feels so freaking amazing. Feels so freaking amazing, folks. I'm lifting this crappie. I forget I have 1.7 pound line. Oh, look at this slime. What? Does crappie have slime? I know all fish have slime, but let me actually cast the 125-10, even though the hook is bigger. But I'm only catching crappie anyway. And as far as crappie go, even the 125-10 is nothing for a 8-inch crappie. 8-inch crappie already has very big mouth too. You can catch it even on a size 8 hook without much problem. Without any problem, size 8 hook. Here is one on the 125-10. It's not the smallest fish of the day. There's the bent curve of the 6'8". I would say a regular fast. But yeah, another crappie. But the 6'2" is not a regular fast. 6'2" is it's like moderate. It's slower progression. I don't even want to say slower action. slower progression. Wait. 125.10. Actually, not worse. Hey, the first bluegill. I know all of these dots are bluegill. It's not the smallest bluegill. I mean, this is not a trophy, but this fish should be no problem to be catching them on every cast. This is big enough to eat. This sort of a jig on. Should be catching them on every cast, and regardless of what you're seeing in this video, I am not catching a fish on every cast. Whoa, what is this? Why are you running like this? Oh, Mr. Basic. I twitch and I twitch. No customers. I start reeling faster to do the next cast. Then we catch Mr. Bass. And with the hook actually penetrated this time. At this lake, the bass is like smaller than the crappie. Everybody's telling me this lake has big bass. But I catch plenty of bass here. This is a good size lure. I catch plenty of bass and they're just always dinkaroos. Apale! Yep. Oh, look at the number of boats already. It's 7:15. 1, 2, 3, 4. You guys see them? Everybody is facing against the bank. Huh? Wow. Wow. A BGO. Only small females. Where is the big males? Just wonder. I need to install some transmitters. Where do the big males? I haven't caught a big male all summer. Now this is not a small fish, folks. This is a 7.5-inch bluegill. But when they don't have the distinct male colors, they just look like nothing on YouTube. A Huchio. Wow. Well, that one, I felt it on the slack. Because I hadn't lifted the rod yet. I had not started pulling and I felt tap in my hand. Only with polyester line and nothing else. You're gonna feel this bite. No fluorocarbon, no braid. There is nothing else. Polyester line for ultralight fishing is the light and the way. It is the light and the way. Let's cast this worm over there. You guys hear the woodpecker? It's amazing being here right now. Even if I'm not catching fish, the woodpeckers are here. I think I know why the fish is not on the bottom. You guys see these flies on the surface? Interesting, the weather got a little bit colder. Cooler, let's say, not colder. But I see more mosquitoes now, and they're out for my blood big time. In my house, folks, if all 4 of us are out in the backyard and I'm there, my whole family is safe. All of the mosquitoes are on my back, sucking my blood. I don't know what's with my skin and my sweat, or I'm just bigger, hotter target, but all of the mosquitoes are on me. Do I have a fish or what's going on here? Yeah, we do. We do. Look at the tip. Same kind of bluegill, 7-inch female. One thing I'm noticing, not that they're fat, but they look a little bit better than they did in the summer. They are starting to find some food. I think if nothing else, they're feeding on these flies on the surface. Where do all of these flies come in September, October? When it's colder, you're supposed to have fewer flies, but I see more of them. And the mosquitoes are definitely more hungry for blood. There's one on the little doodle. Yeah. Yeah, it's good to be me today. The only thing is spoiling my perfect paradise right now is a little bit of allergy. But for September, it's really not bad. I don't have the headache. My nose is running. So sometimes I have to cut the video just to clear my nose. But if I don't have the headaches, I'm a happy camper. Here's one more. What is it? Kind of slow, but not too heavy, but not too light. Maybe it's our first 10-incher. We caught a slab and a few less than 10. Is this our first beautiful 10-incher? Judges? I think he looks nice. Yeah, buddy. Interesting. I am fishing here in shallow water, far from deep water. You would think most of the fish would be bluegill here. Maybe they are. Maybe my jig is just a little bit too big for bluegill, but come on, man, if this is too big for bluegill, I don't know what you guys are fishing with. Oh, a little bit heavy, maybe? No, about the same. Interesting. Where were these crappie all summer? Even with live scope, they were nowhere to be found. I don't know where they went. Living in the mud somewhere. Welcome to the iFish Show, home of the best looking 10-inch crappie on YouTube. Man, this is a very big difference when the fish are just hanging out there waiting for something. The sun to come out, or the sun to go down, or wind to come up, or water to get more oxygen. And when you find a group of fish that are there to eat, the attitude of the fish does make a difference. Don't always blame yourself or your lure or tackle or line. Sometimes the fish is just, conditions are not good in the lake, and the fish go somewhere that is kind of a good rest area, and they just hang there. They don't move, they just hang there until the conditions improve. And then when conditions improve, they start to go around and start to feed. right on the drop, right under the school of flies. I know what you've been eating, especially at night when there is no people here. I think these fish are busting on the surface all night. Is this really 10-incher? Should we go? It looks like a little bit short. Let's measure one of them. Is this home of the 10-inch crappie or home of the 9-inch crappie? This one is 9.5. To be specific, a little bit short. And they have been a little bit short. I don't know what happened with my 10-inchers. They all seem to be gone. Wow. Right there. Oh, big, small, and the bite is good today. By the way, folks, as you can see, I'm testing a new color of gloves here. I'm actually testing some other stuff, but I don't think I will adapt any of the changes. I think the design will be the old design, just a new color. I will tell you, I tested some stronger stitching, like double, different kind of stitching to kind of be stronger, more durable. Let me tell you, folks, you add a lot of stitching, what happens is you add a rigidity. Then you feel where the stitching is on your fingers. You can feel the stitches of the gloves on your fingers. And right now, when you put my gloves on your hands, after 2 minutes, they disappear. It becomes like clothing. Like you don't feel the stitches on your fingers or on your wrist. That's the thing with these extra stitches. I noticed it in the gloves that I was buying before I made my own gloves. If you add too much stitching, you are adding, then what's the point of buying the stretchiest material on the market if you add so much rigidity with a bunch of stitching? I'm using, by the way, you don't know, but I'm even using elastic stitching. But it doesn't matter what you use, if you add a bunch of stitching, you're gonna feel the stitches on your fingers. Not because the stitches are rough, but because the stitches will not stretch the same way the fabric stretches. So in the end, I'm gonna stick with the original design. We're gonna have a new color. I mean, I love the black color. I think the black color is the best, to be honest with you, but black is not for everybody. For me, black is best. Matches everything. The logo is also black, not so much in your face. But I do want to have another option. Also, I was surprised how many people asked me for a small size for their girlfriend. And I didn't even make a small size. I said, how many ultralight anglers out there have hands that are so small? But the girlfriends were more impressed by my gloves than the anglers, it seems. So we're gonna have a small size in this color. Plus this color is, I don't know. Wow, that is a good crappie. This color might have appeal to more people than the black color. I don't know, or not more people, but it might have appeal to people who want something other than black. Yeah. Yep. Slow mover, slow runner. Here is one of these 10 inches I've been looking for. That's definitely... Whoa! That one is fat, folks. This is the first fat crappie of the day. I shouldn't be lifting though. When I lifted him, I tore his mouth a little bit. And that was not from fighting the fish, but from just suspending it in the air like this. All of the weight of the fish just on this thin skin over there. What do you think about this? This is over 10. And fat one. This one's got some meat. One of these 10 inchers that actually have enough meat to eat. Enough meat to eat. Take that, catfish Dave. There's another one. Feels like Mr. Bassick again. Jerky little feller. No. Man, why see the difference in water temps, folks? This fish is running like 100 miles an hour. Zzz, zzz, just cutting the water like this. They're starting to gain weight. In the summer, they were skinny little creatures. Look at the back on this bluegill. They're starting to gain weight. Wondering if it's the flies. Also, this one is bedding or something. This looks like a bedding mark. And it's fat. Are they spawning a second time? But the females don't bed. Only the males bed, right? Do females bed? Bluegill at least, I don't think so. I think sometimes these fish bite the jig and let it go before I can even react. And it wasn't only the tail. They're so quick. Yeah. And they open the mouth immediately and then let it go. I'm pretty sure. What is this? Fuzz! They're fired up today. That's a little crappie. Alright, folks. That's more than enough fish to edit in just one video. And I have to leave at noon today because I gotta do something with the wifey. And also tomorrow I wanna go to Tennessee River and I don't wanna be too tired. But before I leave, I do wanna go fish the other side of the lake a little bit. And besides, the bite over here is dying off. Let's get a good screenshot here. In the morning, the bite was pretty good here by the bank, but as the sun came out and we started getting more daylight, I think the fish just don't feel so safe, especially when you haven't had rain in a while and the water clarity is pretty good. By the way, the water clarity is not bad. I know it has a little bit of stain, but I checked it. The water clarity is good. If they can hit this kind of a dark jig in this water, it's not too dark. But all in all, for an hour and a half of fishing, we caught plenty of fish. Let me show you the other rig that we used today with the Eradicator and the Luvias STSF. Man, they look good together. And that's what I'm gonna leave you with, folks. This beautiful sight here. Thank you for watching another one, and I'll see you soon. Bye bye, guys.